So, hello, I'm Simon Dorn from Hitachi Vantara, and today we will discuss around how we can help our customer protecting their data, and especially getting cyber resiliency and building some solution to be able to do very fast recovery. So, um, as we all know, there is many challenges coming with data protection. First of one, data is growing. We have to care about more and more data each and every day. And another complicated factor is that now the data is almost everywhere. When I started working in IT 20 years ago, I was working for a bank, and all the data was just under my seat in the bank data center. And everybody was using desktop instead of laptop, and there was no smartphone. So today, critical data is everywhere, and it's really complicated to protect all those places. Another fact is that cost of IT breach is getting higher and higher because now each and every kind of company are relying heavily on IT, and all those companies are not able to operate anymore without IT, meaning that when IT is down, company will be down quite quickly. Nothing new at the end. And another complicated fact is regulation. We are facing a kind of a regulation explosion. Financial customers have to deal with DORA starting beginning of next year. I don't know if you heard about DORA, but it's quite a challenge for our financial customer. But there are other regulations like GDPR and NIS2 as an example. And just to give you a hint of how complicated those regulations can become, here you can see all the timelines which are required regarding incident notification. So depending on which regulation you have to follow, you will have to report to multiple authorities at multiple times. So for example, if you are a bank, if you are operating, if you are creating your own payment device, you will have to comply with GDPR, with DORA, and with Cyber Resilient Act at the same time, meaning that you will have to notify all those organizations with different way and different timing. Okay, is it better? Yeah. So at the end, those regulatory challenge are forcing customers to change. Now they know they have to deal with cyber attack because it's not an eventuality. It's like they know they will be attacked somehow. Now there are some influences on RPO and RTO because before all those regulations, customer were working around SLA and saying, okay, I should keep pace with this RTO or this RPO, but now it's coming from regulation, so they don't have choice anymore, and at the end, they have to understand all the impact coming with a potential attack. So at the end, what we know and what we noticed is that backup and recovery teams and disaster recovery teams needs help within our customers because they are always the whole security organization coming with some requirements and so on for the ITs, but people within the IT organization have to find a way to keep pace with all those requirements. So how can we help as Hitachi Vantara? I don't know if you know Hitachi Vantara, but we are known, at the beginning we are mostly known for our infrastructure solution around storages, compute, and so on. So taking care of data, it's kind of what we do since, let's say, ever, and that's what we are good at. If we think about how to protect data, there is no magic. So everybody is, let's say, taking advantage of all the fashion discussion around cyber resiliency. But in fact, if we are digging and trying to understand how to protect customer data, there is no magic trick. We have to make data available, and we have to find a way to make data available at the right place, to the right people, and at the right time. So we are always dealing with creating copies. So those copies can be coming from replication to be safe against all the environmental threats and so on. And we can create offsite copies, which are more kind of a backup strategy. To be able to keep pace with security and governance, we have to make those data secured. We have to protect with some mechanism like worm and so on and so on. And we have to take care about data retention, because with GDPR, with DORA and so on, you cannot keep everything forever. You have to take care of personal data deletion and so on and so on. So nothing really new, but at the end, when we are talking about protecting data, that's what we are trying to achieve. So how can we help as Hitachi Vantara? We can help to build the right infrastructure solution with the right software solution to create this whole data protection framework and to give you the technological solution to keep pace with those RTO and RPOs. Because if you want, I don't know, but if you want to be able to recover from a cyber attack, in case your data haven't been encrypted, if you know that you need 20 days to recover your data from your cloud provider, okay, your data are safe, but will you be able to recover your business quickly enough? We are not convinced. So we can help on building those, let's say, performant enough solution for your data. And we can help you to work around all the security on the compute stack, hardening the operating systems, and so on and so on. And most of the time, we are targeting very fast recovery mechanism, meaning that we are not working with tape. We are not saying tape is dead. We are just saying tape is not the right way to recover from in case of a cyber attacks. So to do that, I won't spend too much time on that, but to do that, we are working with our main infrastructure component. The first one is our VSP family, which is a highly performant and high availability storage solution for block storage. And on the other hand, we will rely on our HCP solution, which is a S3 target-like solution, an object storage coming with real interesting capabilities for all the customers which are willing to have an object storage on-premise, because those solutions has been built for archiving and data protection, so they are coming with plenty of fancy capabilities like versioning, replication, data durability, and so on. So those two infrastructure solutions are really interesting when we are trying to build reliant infrastructures. And it's, at the end, again, no magic trick. We are working with main of the ISV software solution within the IT, Veeam, Commvault, Veritas, Rubrik, and so on. And we are integrating those data protection software and we are taking advantage of our capabilities of recovering the data very fast. So we are using our whole portfolio to create those kind of infrastructure which will help you to be able to recover the data really fast. Again, we are leveraging our whole portfolio, compute, storage, and so on, and we are working with all our partners to create tailored solution to be able to create this data protection framework we are looking for. Because at the end, we are calling it data protection, we are calling it data resiliency, but it's always about data availability. We have to provide the right data at the right time for the right people. So that's it. And we are able to do that in plenty different flavor with plenty of different data protection provider. In addition, we are able to provide some assessment around security, and we have some specialized people within Hitachi Vantara. We can give network security assessment. We can do penetration testing. We can help customers to build phishing campaigns and so on. So we have a dedicated division within Hitachi, which are really good at doing all those more security-oriented services. But even if we are able to build those, let's say, data protection framework, there are still some challenges we have to address. And to be able to understand why it's really important to have the right infrastructure data protection plan, you have to understand what will happen in case of your data being infected. So we know there are plenty of vendors selling plenty of software solutions to protect customers against those cyber threats. And I think the whole this whole area is full of people selling those kind of software solutions. So we know that there are some firewall, there are some endpoint detection software, malware detection, and so on. But we know that sometimes one of those cyber criminals will find a way to go through all those protection and to infect the data, because we are seeing each and every day that it happens. Everybody has an antivirus, everybody has a malware detection, but at the end, you can read about people being infected or company being infected each and every day, because there is no way to be 100% protected. There will always be someone finding a way to get into your data. So what we know is that once the bad actors find a way to put some malicious software somewhere within your environment, there is what we call this dwell period, and during this time, they will do some lateral movements, moving between VLANs and subnets and so on, and getting some escalating their privileges and so on. And we know that this dwell period can be something between days, weeks, or even months. And at the end, they will start encrypting customers' data. And we are in IT, we know that there will be plenty of alarms from everywhere, and people calling IT saying my stuff is not working anymore, and so on and so on. So detection is not an issue. You will be aware quite quickly that something is going wrong. But what we know is that we cannot restore the data from here, because no business can survive working with data aged from weeks or from months. We have to find a way to get the closest data just before the encryptions. It means that we will have to recover data or operating systems or applications which are already infected. And that's quite of a challenge. And in addition, we know that depending on in which kind of business you are, sometimes after cyber attacks, the primary environment is locked for forensic. So it can be by authority, it can be by people within your company, security people, and so on. But we know that often customer cannot use the primary compute and storage environment during days during the time those guys are working around forensic and so on. So to be able to deal with that, you know, as I was explaining, restoring data from before infection is not an option, too old, and you will have to recover just before the beginning of the encryption. It means that you will have to, let me build this one, you will have to go through a restoration process which will be iterative, because you will have to isolate your data, you will have to rebuild kind of a management framework and reconfigure your network and so on, because your primary environment will be locked. So it could take times, and after that you will have to understand. So you will have to recover your data, which is already infected, and you will have to find a way to eradicate the malware before he starts again. And this process can be quite iterative, because if you are missing anything within your infected operating system, the ransomware can kick in again, and so on. So if you are taking 3 days for doing your data restoration, it means that if you are missing the eradication phase, you will have to start again and again and again. And at the end, this recovery and this iterative recovery process is the reason why most of the customers are taking an average time of 28 days to be able to recover your data. And the good news is that as Hitachi Vantara, we have a solution to help with that, because we have built let me build this one. We have built something which has been created to be able to do really fast recovery. So I will avoid going too much into technical details, but we are leveraging all the capabilities that are in our storage system, which are snapshot capabilities, meaning being able to take immediately a copy of the data without impacting the performance, of course. And we are using those copies to make the production environment available. It means that you have your production environment, we are taking copies, and we can take pictures of the pictures and make these pictures available for test or for recovery. And the magic here is that to be able to do that, we don't have to move any data. So we are partnering with another software company which is called CyberVR, and CyberVR will act as an orchestration framework, talking to your vCenter and talking to our storage, to be able to create kind of digital twins. So it means that once you have configured your production environment, by just a single click, you will be able to pop a dedicated environment. It means that we are using all the pictures of the data that has been taken before, and we are automating all the VMware administration tasks that has to be automated to be able to reconfigure VLANs, to be able to reconfigure compute, RAMs, and so on and so on. And we are able to restart all this dedicated environment within minutes. And it's really interesting when you are thinking about how iterative this recovery process can be. Because being able to recreate everything really quickly, it's the key for being able to recover fast after a cyber attack. So those digital twins can be used for many purposes. not only in case of a ransomware recovery. You can create those digital twins for for application testings and so on. You can give those digital twins to your security team and they can try to break everything by doing pen testing, or you can use it to train your staff for cyber recovery and for ransomware recovery. And where it becomes quite interesting to me is when we are putting everything together. So that's the same story as I was explaining. We are taking instant picture of the production data. We can make those pictures available for some tests and so on. And by doing that, how fast can we recover your production environment? It's quite easy. We achieved to recover 1,500 VMs in 70 minutes with this solution. So that's because we are not moving any data. It means that, for example, if you are hit by a ransomware, you will be able to just click within a single interface, recover all your production, your VMware and your bare metal production environment within 15, 20, 30 minutes maybe, start the eradication process or the hardening process or whatever. If you fail, fair enough, click again, restart, retest. And you will be able to do all those iterative process quite quickly because, again, we don't have to copy data. We don't have to spend hours getting your data back from your cloud provider or from your tape or from your third copy on whatever kind of storage solution. And that's the key on being able to recover really fast after a cyber attack. So what is interesting is that maybe it's not enough because, as I was explaining, we were using copies created within the primary storage environment. And as I said before, depending on forensic log, depending on regulation, maybe you will have to move to something that we call clean room recovery or vault or whatever, meaning that you will have to restart your data, your production somewhere else, and that you will not be able to deal or to use your primary storage environment. And that's something we can do because with our automated solution, we can create first flavor of vault, which we are calling compute vault. And this slide is not working. Okay. And it means that we are using data providing from the primary storage, but we are using dedicated compute to do the recovery. Maybe it's not enough, in which case we can create a dedicated vault, meaning that you will have to, of course, you will have to bring a secondary storage system and a dedicated compute, and you will be able to recover everything within this dedicated vault. And we are working with some data protection provider like Commvault or Veritas or whomever have VM replication capabilities, and we can use those VM replication capabilities to send those virtual machines within the vault and use all our automation mechanism to do those fast recovery within this vault. So we are able to adapt and to build a tailored solution to integrate with almost all customer environment on-premise. Okay. Yeah, that's just some interesting discussion around sizing, because everybody, when we are talking with customers, they are always, let's say, surprised when we are discussing on what is the cost of protecting data. But just to be able to explain that there is no magic, I built this kind of sizing approach just to remind that if your primary data are here, if you want to protect them by taking snapshots, you will have to provide some additional capacity, because depending on your daily data change rate, those snapshots will consume capacity. And if you want to recover from those snapshots, you will have to provide additional buffer. And at the end, if you want to be able to unlock a situation in which everything is full, you will have to keep some buffer to be able to unlock the situation. So it's just for some risk-benefit discussion with our customers to understand why we have to provide some additional capacities. And at the end, let's say as a conclusion, we are often within the security environment, people are talking about all the pillars coming from the NIST 2. And at the end, with our ISV partnership and with our own tool and with our cyber security capabilities, we are able to help our customer, and we are able to cover almost all of those pillars within the NIST framework. And we are, again, we are leveraging infrastructure portfolio and ISV partnership to build, at the end, almost everything our customers are looking for. And that's it for today. So thank you for being there, and yeah.